Hello and welcome. Today I am finally going to do a little mini review of this Sanyo M9980 boombox that I've been working on for a while now. It had various different problems, and this little bugger isn't not that easy to work on. Uh, Incidentally, Sanyo is a company that was founded in 1947. It's a Japanese company, and the word itself actually means three oceans in Japanese. And that actually refers to the founder's ambition to sell the products across three oceans. That is the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. Now this boombox is actually a smallish to medium sized box. It's about 16.5 inches wide, about 4 and 11/32 deep, if it's a odd fraction, and 10 and 11/32 high. In metric, that means 418 times 110 times 262 millimeters. And the weight is about 11 pounds, 11 ounces. And that's in metric, that's about 5.3 kilograms. Now, it does run off of AC. You can switch it to 110 or 220, or it has a jack on the side. You can run off a 9-volt DC source. And finally, it can take 6 1.5 volt G batteries, those thick batteries we used to work, that we used to buy back in the day. So incidentally, the wow and flutter for this unit is 0.3%, which is, well, not that good, I would say. But then again, it's a portable lo-fi unit, and the signal to noise ratio is supposed to be 45 decibels, which is really not hi-fi either. But then again, I guess this unit wasn't too expensive back in the day. Now, here to the left and right of the cassette mechanism, or of course, behind the cover here, behind the panel here are the speakers. It's got for each channel has a woofer tweeter combination. The woofers are about, I measured them, they're about 4.5 inches wide, and tweeters are about 2 inches wide. And so definitely you're not going to be able to bring down the house with this. This is already telling you something right there, little speakers like that. And I looked at the back of the speakers. They're rated at a nominal 2.2 watts and a maximum 3 watts. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, these speakers can handle 3 watts over a long period of time. That's not so. They can handle 3 watts for a short period of time. The nominal, the average they can handle, though, is 2.2 watts. So that's what you got to go. That's basically what you got to go by. So I'm already thinking that the actual power output is a lot, or rather somewhat lower, but I'll get to that in a second. Now for the rated power output, the service manual says 2 watts per channel, but we don't know what that is into what kind of a load, but I did manage to find some information on the internet. This uses what's called the LA 4120 audio, basically integrated amplifier. And as far as I remember, I think this thing puts out like about, I read something like 1.5 watts per channel on one site, and another site was 2 watts per channel. And I also looked at I was able to see a chart, and I think it was putting out 1.5 watts per channel on this particular chart, at about 4% distortion. So, okay, let's say this is, give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's 2 watts. We don't know at what distortion level or anything over what frequency range here. This is all kind of fishy, but that's the way that's the way it was with these portable units back in the day. I think I might have a circuit board with a 4120 on there. Let me just get that, and you can see how small the 4120 that that integrated audio amplifier is, you can already tell already just by looking at the size of the thing. You're not going to be able to bring the house down. This is not for your frat party or something. I'll be back in a second. Now here's the actual physical size of the 4102 audio amplifier chip. You can see with the heatsink, this thing is about, man, it must be, it's around 1 1/8 inch. You see, I got the ruler here. I got it upside down here. That was easier for me to hold it. Or if you're going metric, it's around 3 centimeters around there. So you already know what you're going to expect. Again, you're not. This unit is not going to be very, very loud. Now just turn the unit on. You hear? Actually, the FM reception, I have to admit, is pretty good. What I want to talk about here is the light. Now, the moment you push in the AC plug, this light comes on and it stays on. That's normal. And that's activated here all the way in the left hand corner. I'm pushing on a button now, so if you were like running it off the battery or something, if you'd push this, you would activate that light. Also, that would show you, you can see right now, I don't know if you can see it there. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer here, focus in. You can see this would show you your power level. What's left, say if you're on, because of course now it's on AC, but if you had batteries, you'd know how much is left. These meters, now the meters only work together when you put in a cassette tape, and you'll see both of them swinging back and forth. When it's in the radio position, you can see here, now the stereo light's on. Now I'm going to go off of the radio frequency, and you can see here, this is a signal strength meter. It really is what that is. And now I'm going to go back on, and you see right there, it's signal strength is back up. The stereo signal is strong enough. The FM stereo signal is strong enough. The stereo light is going to come on in that case. So on over here, we can see the different bands that we've got. We've got FM, LW, it's long wave, MW, that is AM, and SW, it's short wave. FM reception is actually pretty good, and I just tried these out a little bit because nobody really listens to that nowadays. Anything else I can say about the front? No, not really. There was, now this thing here, this actually was broke, and what I had to do is the pointer here, I'm moving it right now. What I had to do is actually resolder it and repaint it, and then re-glue it back on the actual dial string. Now here we have of course this is your basically dial knob here, your tuning knob here, and in the middle here, this is your fine tuning. I don't know if I can demonstrate that. Let me come over here. Now I'm turning the regular tuning knob here. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the fine tuning, so you just have a little bit more control this way. That's what that's for. So now you can get a look at the meters when the cassette is playing. You can see them bobbing back and forth. The meters also work, say, if you wanted to record something and then you put the microphone switch in the microphone position, you would be able to see your recording level then. So once we get the handle here out of the way, we can see that it's got a single rod antenna. This is about, I think it was about 29 inches long or 74 centimeters long. It's not, some of them have like a dual rod antennas, which is cooler, but this doesn't have it. But still, the reception is quite I thought for little low-fi portable units, the FM reception is quite good. Now I'm going to take a closer look here at the top panel. So looking at the top panel, start at the left here. It's got your mono, stereo, and then your stereo wide. That's like a expanded stereo. Then back here we've got your radio function buttons for the different various radio bands. And this is your AFC. That, I think, that used to be in the off position to actually dial in say you were dialing in an FM station, you dial in the station, then you hit the AFC. That's how that works. Tape takes normal. That is ferric tape or chrome tape. And here for your mics. And this is your actual radio off on switch. And here it's got a timer too. I think it shuts off then when the cassette is at its end. What else do we have here? Oh, these are just your push button switches for your cassette mechanism. You got your tone controls here, bass and treble, and then you got separate sliding volume controls, which is good. And hooking up an external antenna. And back here you got your beat cancel switch. That's back in the day, if you were taping, it can make an irritating sound. You'd have to put this switch in different position here to get rid of that. This is for your remote. Now I haven't seen one of these been used since high school. And here we've got your, what is this here? Oh, external microphones, left and right here. Now, going down further here, you have to be aware that there's two versions here of this unit. I've got like the international or European version with the DIN jacks. Two are for playback and two are for record. Playback mean line out, and record, that might be line in. Record in, well, you could definitely for sure, you could feed in for whatever bizarre reasons if you wanted to feed in a signal and record it using this cassette here mechanism. So you have to watch for that. I think the other version's got line in and line out, which is preferable, I think, because this is kind of like, this is like a hassle. And also you can hook up two external speakers. Now why you would want to do that, since this amplifier is rated so low, as I said, maybe it's a maximum of 2 watts. I mean, why wouldn't you use these external speakers here, and you have a stereo wide function anyways? I mean, you'd have to have little dinky speakers somewhere, so that really doesn't make any sense. Of course, you got your battery compartment here, and here you can change your line voltage. It's just, can we even get this thing open? Yep, there's nothing in there for sure. And I think that maybe sums up this video now. Thanks for watching. I didn't want to make this video too long, but another thing I might add here before I forget it, I tried out that DIN plug as far as it being line in. It's not actually line in, it's record in. So you're only going to be able to feed a signal to it when you're actually recording something. It's not like a regular, what I've seen before, regular line in, which is something else. So that's something you have to pay in mind if you pay attention to if you pick one of these units up. Also, there's no phono input. So what's got to be done to these units when you get them? What's wrong with them? For sure, you should. The belts are going to be in there for a while. This thing takes, I think it takes 3 belts. Belts would have to be changed. Your head has to be cleaned. Your pressure roller, the pinch roller has to be cleaned. The capstan has to be cleaned. The Head has to be demagnetized. Capstan too. The general cassette mechanism's got to be cleaned up a little bit. What else is there? All the switches and the sliding potentiometers here. These up on top here, they have to be sprayed because they're going to be oxidized. And in the unit itself, behind this cassette mechanism, there's a record playback switch. It's actually 2 longish switches. They need to be sprayed and they got to be worked back and forth. So here's a cassette mechanism in action. I've got an old dilapidated tape in here, which doesn't run that right anymore. But you get basically idea here. You get the basic idea, so. And basically, I would say that about sums it up. So thanks for watching. I wanted to keep this video relatively short, under 5 minutes if possible, but I think I'm already like way over that. And there's even more stuff I could talk about.